Ladies and gents, let us welcome David San to speak on panel big ideas on incentive travel trends, challenge and leadership. Please give him a warm welcome.
I don't know. It's just a okay. Good afternoon. This is an interesting space to do a talk because it's kind of half private, half very public. So I hope more people join. But yeah, so my name is David Sand. I'm the CEO of a company called ITB Incentives. I'm an author of a book called Song of the Sandman and an international PQ coach. But what I'm going to try and talk to you about is 4 big concepts, and I'm going to link it into my book and my travel experience in this phenomenal industry of ours. So, first of all, to just build a bit of credibility so that you know who you're talking to here, is I was the global president of SITE, the Society of Incentive Travel Executives, or Excellence. And in 2013, we had our conference in Beijing, and I got to be an emperor for a few moments in quite an amazing place in Beijing. I also, this is my business, ITB. It's an Africa-based business. We have business interests in India and the Middle East, East and West Africa. And it's not only incentive travel, but other types of incentive rewards that we've built. And as the founder of that business, we've been operating now for 30 years. I mentioned I wrote a book in my early 50s called The Song of the Sandman. And it was really autobiography of a little bit about my business and my journey. Now, The Song of the Sandman, the title, I didn't really give too much thought to, but there's also the Sandman in mythology is this guy that comes along, mythology in the sense of European mythology, and children get told the story just before bedtime that the Sandman is the one that comes and sprinkles this magical dust over your sleeping place, and you fall asleep, and that evokes wonderful dreams of your future. And when you wake up in the morning, that little bit of gritty sand, that is evidence that the Sandman has been there. There are other comic books that have been written recently. Also, the Sandman is related to the dreamer. And I'm going to talk to you today about 4 big concepts. Not so much data and trends about incentive travel, but really the essence of where do the ideas come from. And I'm going to talk to 4 concepts. Concept number 1 is the power of stories and imagination to shape reality. Then the fragility of identity and how dreams reflect who we are. The inevitability of change and the cost of refusing it. And finally, the complex nature of immortality and purpose. Wow, that's a mouthful, so let's get into it. So stories and imagination shape reality. Stories don't just reflect the world, they create it. I think about the stories that we tell ourselves about the life we want to have. You know, young girls sometimes will fantasize about getting married in a white dress, a big wedding, they meeting their Prince Charming. That's the story that they create as youngsters, and ultimately, hopefully, that gets fulfilled somewhere along their lifetime. And of course, it's not just stories that we tell about the life we want to have, but the jobs we want to have, the life we want to live, the families we want to create, and so on. And of course, without stories, life loses meaning and coherency. And that's the part of the dream story about the Sandman gets captured, and no longer there are dreams in the world. And things get boring and the same. And when the dreamer comes back, we can create amazingly richer lives and stories. So when beliefs and dreams fade, so does change the chances of them becoming real. Linking this into the incentive industry, the true masters of incentive travel create frameworks and ecosystems for individuals and groups of individuals to create their own stories of success, progress, and celebration. When you think of meeting masters, true meeting masters also create frameworks for new stories to be co-created, invented, shared, and inspired. Event masters activate dreams within and showcase and invite you into the first steps of a journey that are then completed and activated by every attendee who steps into that story. Think of a product launch, for example. Those are stories created around the features and benefits of a new product, but it also invokes lifestyle requirements, desires and dreams that the marketers have packaged around that story. And activating events very much link into storytelling as a core part of what we do. Masters of the art of storytelling that engage all of the sensory dynamics of the human experience, connecting ideas, concepts, product, brands, and people into a unique and unforgettable way. Let's now talk about the fragility of identity and how dreams reflect who we are. Our dreams reflect who we are and who we want to become. Our identity is wrapped up in these ideas. Walt Disney was one that said, all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And I think when we think of the world and the stage on which we are able to create these incredible experiences for our customers, a big part of what we can do for them is deliver a framework where they can dream and activate in all the things that they want to. For most new entrances into the world of work, the idea of attending a meeting, conference, or achieving a seat on the company's incentive trip to an exotic foreign destination is really a dream come true. You know, being in the industry and we're putting so many miles on our personal flying calendar, for most people in the workplace, going somewhere to a meeting can be an incredible experience and part of their lifetime experience. So for most people, international travel is either for the very wealthy or for the globally upward mobile, career-pathed individual, or it's a celebration of success and freedom. For the intellectual person within our audience, it's a chance to learn, to grow in knowledge, share knowledge, and meet other very smart people. For the relational person in our midst, it's a chance to meet new people, experience different cultures, see how others experience life, and of course for the creative individual, it's a chance to dive into the details of real life in a destination, touch it, feel it, smell it, and drink it all in through their creative eyes. For the analyst and the rational, it's an opportunity to weigh up all the data and spot new trends, ideas, build new neural pathways, and test theories. change and the cost of refusing it is really something I've heard a lot about, the huge wave of AI and technology impact on our industry. And of course, we have to embrace these things. We have to decide what is good change, what is not good change, and where do we want to position ourselves in this mix. So there is some change that you want to go countercultural to, but inevitably, change and refusing that change is something that has a huge high cost. Change too slowly, and you can lose out. Change too fast, and you can be on the bleeding edge and also get it wrong. So that dynamic of who we are in the world and our industry is key. Writing a new story often requires reframing our world in today's context, not resting on a dream that was created many years ago. So this is something that I had to refresh for myself recently, and it's probably something that you have to do all the time. But who is still on a treadmill from an old dream that was created when they were still in university days, and you're still chasing that? That could lead to something that one needs to refresh today with all the changes and everything that's happening in today's world. So as professionals in this industry, I think we are alchemists in the way we service clients, helping them articulate the changes they want to see, the growth they want to achieve, and the cultures they want to build within their companies. I think our clients are also very much trying to cope with creating change in the organization, driving different behaviors in the organization, and incentive travel really is one of those behavioral nudges that one uses effectively to help our customers in the space to achieve greater levels of performance, greater levels of change within the organization that will benefit everybody in them. And most importantly, the way we want to bring their community together to inspire, bring joy, and celebrate, to co-create. So the last concept of, this is a wonderful quote by Marcus Aurelius, "It is not death that man should fear, but rather he should fear never beginning to live it." I think in our industry, we love living life and experiencing it to the full. And we can utilize that in dynamic and unique ways to bring about excitement, change, new dreams. I think for me, more than anything in this time of rapid change as leaders and business people in the space, we really have to have a deep sense of why are we in this industry and where we want to take our careers and our businesses. What are you going to be doing on purpose to make a positive impact on everything in your life? What are you going to be doing for your clients to purposefully add massive amounts of value to them and to make what you do unique, trustworthy, and scalable? I think one of my favorite authors is Simon Sinek, that talks about your why and knowing your why. That's a brilliant book to dive into. But every now and again, it's a great question to be asking, why am I doing this? Will it bring the outcomes and get me closer to achieving the dream and vision that I have for the business or for my career? Another hugely challenging book on this topic is written by an author called Rick Warren, The Purpose-Driven Life. And he really inspires us to take everything that we do, every moment that we have, value it much more richly than we do. Do not waste the time that we have to make an impact. And I think mastering this phase gets you to realize it's not only about you. Significance and peace is when you are seeing a higher purpose and following within that pathway. So just to land this whole thing, back to the big ideas, The power of story and imagination to shape reality is critical. Keep your dreams alive, reshape them, rethink them, given all the change and the dynamics that we live within, and really go for it, because those are the things that we can bring to reality in our lives and our business impact. Dreams reflect who we are, so dream big, dream with quality values that fill your life. Of course, change is inevitable. Continue to be a learner, be teachable, and ready to reimagine your dreams. We've got one life, so live it on purpose. Make your impact, make it a better world everywhere that you go. So with that, I want to end it. We've got a panel discussion now that's going to dig in to a lot more detail on the specifics of the incentive travel industry from different perspectives, from India, Africa, Europe, and here in Singapore. So if I can invite my panelists up, thank you very much.